Meeting is called to order at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, July 24th, 2017. This meeting is being recorded. Move to accept the minutes of our previous meeting, Monday, July 17th, as written.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes of the public session from last week are accepted. Move to accept and seal the minutes of the non-public session from last week.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes of the non-public session from last week are accepted and are sealed. Okay, we've done payroll, vendors, correspondence file. Let's see what we got here. We have an email from John Collins, including some information about a change in the rules and regulations for electrical inspectors. So if anybody would like to read those, they will be available. Invoice from Sheldon Davis Wells and Hopkins Smith for $1,000.
For finding out, that's the very first that they did.
Yep.
Deciding that the people we thought owned the property absolutely did not own.
Okay, so the
So
issue
now
is still
he's-
ongoing though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Now we're trying to find out who actually does own it.
All right, so we'll just,
Need an approval so I can pay that?
okay. Question came up last week about the need for residency to be on a town committee. I contacted NHMA and they told us that depending on what the committee is, some of them have statutes. For example, the Recreation Committee, there is a statute that says you must be a town resident. The same thing with the Conservation Commission, and they gave us the statutes. For Recreation is RSA 35B4. And for Conservation Commission is 36A3. But it says when the Select Board creates another type of committee, such as the Troy Redevelopment Group, there's no statutory requirement that they all be residents of Troy. The Select Board could set the requirement, but it is not required. So we do have the flexibility to do that. We have a thank you card from a welfare recipient. This is the second time this has happened. This is addressed to Alissa. It says, thank you so much for your kindness and going above and beyond to help ease the situation you assisted us with. It was truly appreciated. So, kudos to Alissa. Thank you note from the community kitchen, thanking us for the donation of $1,500 that the voters approved at town meeting.
Old business, that's
That's it for stuff in the correspondence file. Okay, now we'll go on to old business, the complaint from Richmond Road waiting on the nuisance ordinance.
And we are good.
Good meaning?
Meaning text is fine. I have to reset the penalty phase.
Okay.
Maximum is $1,000 per violation.
Oh.
So I have to change our block. Other than that,
Okay.
we're good to go.
When that is changed, what happens next?
Okay, we can set up the meeting.
Public hearing, you mean?
The public hearing. We also have to be aware that Jimmy still wants to do the Amnesty Day. So we have to figure out how we are going to tie Amnesty Day in with the public meeting. Jimmy wants to do Amnesty Day in October. He wants to do it in the fall.
Right.
So do we want to do Amnesty Day before we set the public meeting? Does it make a difference?
I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay.
Curtis, what do you think?
I don't think it makes a difference.
All right.
Okay, and are we going to go forward with Amnesty Day? It's going to be an expense, but I do think we need to show a good faith effort that we can help people before.
I think the way we left that was we're waiting for a certain date. Do you remember what that date was, Melissa?
Check the budget in September.
Okay.
We're talking October.
But we actually looked at the calendar and said at our meeting on a certain date, we're tabling it until then.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we'll be closer to the end of the year and we'll see how we're doing on the budget.
We stand. Correct.
So, Alissa, when you have a chance, would you look that up and let us know what that date is? And I suggest that we table any further decisions on that
That's fine.
until next week when we see what the date is.
Okay, that's
And we
great.
can discuss it further.
That's fine.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Good.
Job descriptions, Curtis?
MRI emailed back, and it's going to be a little expensive. They're talking for a ballpark figure to consider for wage and classes approximately $325 to $350 per position, inclusive, depending on our needs.
Yeah.
Ballpark figure for a brief HR audit with limited policies would be in the $4,000 to $5,000 range. Additionally, you have some need for HR assistance for an hourly basis.
Yeah.
Cost would be $105 an hour.
All right. I think that's more than we want to spend.
Right. At this time, anyway.
I can think of two other options. One is to hire an individual contractor, and I've got one in mind. I don't remember her name, but she works out of Fitzwilliam. And I had a meeting with her a couple of years ago when we were discussing the hiring the library director. And so I sat down with her for about an hour to go over the do's and don'ts for hiring. But she has a consulting company that does all kinds of this personnel stuff, human resources stuff for businesses. And either her or somebody in that same line of work might be able to do this. The other option is we just do it ourselves.
Well, you want to set a time frame where you can just discuss that and go over it more in detail for each person, or just the top three people, or
if we did it ourselves, then yeah, we'd
Right.
have to do that. Yeah,
I mean, I'm kind of curious on what the other people would charge,
I have no idea.
especially considering our budget is going to
Usually, like an individual contractor is going to charge by the hour,
be tight. Right.
and it's probably going to be. I would plan on $100 an hour.
Well, this one here is 105 through MRI,
Right.
so we can see how much
Yeah.
that person that you were talking about, if how much they'll charge, and go from there. If you're good with that.
Yeah, I am good with
We can
it.
certainly look into it.
Yeah, I think we should look into it, but quickly.
Go to cheaper
Because
one.
this is, she's way past.
Okay. I don't remember her name, but every once in a while, I get an email. You know, that goes out to all of her clients.
Blanket.
So
Yep.
the next time I get one, I'll respond back to her and see if
Okay.
we can get her to come in and meet with us
That
to
would be
discuss it.
nice. That would be nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I've been looking at other towns, like towns,
Yeah.
and their welfare department, and I'm not sure if they correspond and everything that's what's going on with what she does and everything like that. So I can sit down with you and do it that way as well. It's just I don't know everything that's entailed. For if your job description is a lot more than what it used to be, or what you got hired under, do that as
Well,
well.
and it's very time consuming.
Right, and I didn't want to take anything away from her regular
Well, it does.
job. And
It
everything
takes
like
a
that,
lot
so-
away from her regular job.
You can come sit with me for a day, Curtis, if you like.
Well, I only got
It's-
Fridays off, and right now I'm on orders.
Yeah, it does take a lot of
So-
time. If she has 3 appointments,
I
In
see
a
you tomorrow
day?
morning.
that's her day.
Yeah.
There's not much time left to do her job.
All right, let me
So
see if I
that's-
can contact the person that I met with a few years ago
All right.
and ask her if, first of all, this is something that she'd be interested in doing. And if it is, I'll ask her to come in and meet with us and we'll get her on the agenda.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
Okay, forensic audit says it will return next week.
Mm-hmm.
What day is he coming in?
He hasn't said yet, he's sick, he emailed,
Couldn't hear you.
he's sick,
Oh,
so he said he'd get a hold of me at the end of the week.
okay.
So he's coming in to talk to us about
No, I
results?
think
Not
there was
yet,
something
we're
he
still,
wanted to look at, something
Oh,
else.
really?
So, I don't know
Okay.
if we found something.
okay.
No smoking signs for the community center.
did I say last week that we got 10 free ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the week before.
Well, you said we're getting 10 free ones.
We got 10, or supposed to be getting them, and we haven't physically got them yet.
Yeah.
But Gene Scans says we got 10 free ones.
Okay.
No charge.
All right.
So we're just waiting for them, I guess.
And that's it, we're not ordering anymore.
Right.
Okay. Okay, municipal resources, just covered that. Second driveway on School Street, we have till August 17th. Fundraiser, Mark will call Ben Drug and put it together. This is getting to be a circle.
Yeah, it is.
Mark is right now is Mark's crazy time.
Right.
For
Yeah.
him to be doing,
Anything other than, yeah,
Okay.
he was on the common this weekend also.
All right. Okay, Troy Redevelopment Group. Other than the email from NHMA saying that non-residents can be on the group, do we have anything on that?
Just the one resignation letter.
Look at me.
Okay. Complaint letter on Brook Street gave to Chief Ellis. Anything further on that? Okay. Time Board and Bay. We took a look at that a little while ago, and you're going to take care of making some changes to that sign so we can put it back up. Okay.
Yep.
Samuel E. Paul Community Center door quote.
I called my father because he was one of the ones that put in the quote, and you mentioned last week that he never put his labor on there. So I called him up, and I also asked Jimmy. I said, my father said he'll do it for free as long as we pay for the material, $150 for the material.
Yeah, that was on there.
So there's no labor. So I asked Jimmy. I said, well, did you pass this along when he passed it to you? And he said yes. So I mean, I don't know why it didn't get brought up last week, but that's why it was so cheap. $150, they buy the material, they'll rehang the door and replace the one thing. Minus the, I think it was minus the painting, but only one person had the painting on their bid anyway, so.
Right.
So, with that being said, $150 to have the door repaired compared to the $600 from DA Brothers and $650 from Tyson.
Okay, and I agree. I understand what you're saying, Curtis, but if we are going to put it out for bid, no matter who bids on it, each bid needs to be equal with what is listed on the bid. Because how can it be a fair bidding process if someone is saying, okay, I'll do it for free, but yet two people are bidding on it according to what was given them, the information they were to put the bid in on.
I think,
Now, I don't have a problem going with your father. I really don't. All I'm saying is, legally, it isn't an equal bidding process.
No, because if you ask for a bid and that's what they come back on, and if it comes over,
Right.
anything is in their pocket.
hold on. I think last week we beat this to death. And I think if we check the minutes, we decided that we were going to ignore all of the bids that we'd received, put together a very specific invitation to bid,
Correct.
and send that out.
Correct.
So the discussion that's going on right now is just a rehash
It's
of
not
what
relevant.
it's.
Well,
Okay.
it is relevant because if a bid comes in, okay, and that's what their bid is, and if they want to do it for free, if it comes to more than that, that's on them.
All right.
It goes on the contract.
One thing that we could do is we could rescind our decision from last week about sending out the invitation to bid, and we could just decide to not put it out to bid. There's no legal requirement to do so.
Correct.
And we could say, yeah, by all means, let's let Curtis's father do it, and we'll pay for the materials.
Well,
Just
I'd
as
have-
Joel fixed the steps on the bandstand.
Well, I'd have to
Right,
abstain
but we
from the
paid,
voting,
the
just so you know.
festivals committee paid for that. That had nothing to do with the town.
Well, it did, because the festival committee's money is town money.
No, it isn't.
Even
It's
the-
money we earned.
It's-
No. I did not use any budget
You
money.
didn't use appropriated funds.
No, I used
But-
funds we earned.
Okay. The
That's
mon-
how we give back to the community.
The
every
money
year.
that the festival committee earns, just like the money that the recreation committee earns, is town money. It's just not appropriated funds.
That's correct, but it didn't come out of,
Appropriated funds.
correct.
Right.
I mean, we went out and earned every penny of
Okay.
that. So I don't have a problem with his dad doing it, but going forward,
Yeah.
I have a problem with not every quote being equal
Okay.
as to what is required for the job.
And the reason they weren't is because we didn't put out a detailed invitation to bid.
Oh, and that's very true, but that, I think,
So going forward, that's what we have to do.
correct.
So I move that we rescind our decision of last week to send out an invitation to bid for the doors, and that we ask Curtis's father to repair it, and that we pay for the materials.
I second.
I'm abstaining.
Okay,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, you recuse
And
yourself.
if the
recuse
work,
yourself.
if the work doesn't meet our approval, we'll beat up Curtis.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Response from Primex on quarry divers.
Jimmy said, just forget about it, we're not selling the property, so
Oh.
let's not even go into it.
Overcome by events. Good, okay. New business. I'd like to set a date for the public hearing on the Giorgiani Trust Fund. We discussed that with the trustees of the trust fund last week, and we talked about doing it, and I think we're really on a short fuse at this point. We're in mid-July. So let's set a date. And here's the schedule for the budget committee. We wanted to do it. Did we say we wanted to do it before the first budget committee meeting?
Yes.
All right. So we can do it after September 25th, but we want to do it before October 5th. So let's check the calendar. How about September 28th?
What day is that?
It's a Thursday.
Okay, does Alissa need to be present?
Say again, please?
Alissa needs to be present?
Not sure why. Why,
No,
why,
I'm
why are you
asking.
asking?
Well, because she works Thursday evening.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking 7 o'clock.
Okay, that's fine.
I thought maybe she was planning on taking a vacation and we didn't know about it yet. No. Does that date work? The budget committee doesn't have anything on their agenda. Not that the budget committee is really part of this.
I should be around.
Yeah.
I don't have anything scheduled anyway for.
Okay, so let's, I move that we schedule the public hearing, and I want to call it a public hearing and follow those rules, for the Giorgiani Trust Fund for Thursday, September 28th, 7 p.m. at the community center if it's available. Alissa, can you block us in for that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, next item. August 21st is a Monday. We have a meeting scheduled here at 6:30. I would like to cancel our meeting for that week or reschedule it for Wednesday the 23rd. Monday and the Tuesday do not work for me, and I would rather not miss the meeting.
When, Alissa, when is it?
When, Curtis, when are you going to Fort Hood?
Okay.
Is it in August?
No, it's in October.
Oh, okay, so you would,
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you were going to be away, that would be a perfect time. It would be, it would make it easier.
What did he say? Was
21st
Yeah.
and the 21st.
So,
It's the week after I get back from Fort Dix for my training. So.
okay. Do you see any?
I'm fine with
All
canceling
right.
it.
Now, what we can do is, what I want to do is cancel it for now. When we meet on the 14th, if we have a lot of stuff piling up, we can always say, well, all right, then we'll meet on the Wednesday the 23rd.
Okay, well, why don't we cancel it and we'll
And if we
go.
need to, we need to schedule an interim meeting, we can do it.
Okay,
I move that we cancel the Selectmen's meeting for Monday, August 21st.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Yeah. We get the night off. Okay. Building permits.
First one.
No, we took off between Christmas and New Year's of 2015.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
All right. Curtis, you want to walk us through these?
So Steve, 25 North Main Street, he asked for a building permit and a permit for demolish for the garage.
Mhm.
There's no issues for the demolishing of the garage, but the building permit, he needs to actually get it in his name, and his planning board did not see anything because the previous select board actually already okayed it.
So we just tell them, go ahead.
So as long as they come in and fill out another building permit with their name and pay the fee.
Okay.
Did somebody sign up on the back of that demo permit? Second page, back of it.
This is the demolition permit?
Yes.
Where do we sign this? Just a note down here?
Mm-hmm.
Very last line, okay.
And then the building permit for 178 Prospect Street for a 32 by 28 garage. We asked for a plot plan with the setbacks and construction drawings and everything. Everything was good. They even showed with the new boundary line. So, and the planning board did not see any issues.
Okay, so we
with
sign off on that?
As it well.
Okay.
So, I don't know if and these plans you're gonna put in their folder or yeah, back.
Backside.
Like like blank.
Of the yellow paper?
The yellow.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign this. That hasn't been filled out yet. You'll take care of that? Anything else on building permits?
Nope, that's all we
Okay.
had. We still haven't heard back from Brad Hunter, so.
Okay. All right, what's all this?
This is
Oh, old forms, okay.
no, it's, yeah, for
Okay.
the rec department, but
Yeah.
I gotta pull one out now because well, you wanna go into this now or?
No, we'll
Okay.
before we finish up, we will. Okay, we had a complaint about a property on Central Square. And we we are sending a letter. It's in here somewhere. You signed it earlier. You already
I
picked it up?
think you got it.
Do you need
Can I see it back?
That's it.
Okay, so we are sending the property owner a letter. It says your property, and it gives the address, is in violation of Article 3 of Troy's zoning ordinance, which reads as follows. No land shall be used for a private dump, for storage of abandoned vehicles or parts thereof, junk, scrap paper, rags, or discarded materials of any kind, nor used in any manner that is disorderly, unsightly, noxious, or detrimental to the public or prejudicial to the general welfare. Please bring your property into compliance with the zoning ordinance within 30 days from the date of this letter. If you wish to discuss this with the Select Board, please call 242-7722 and arrange to be placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Does that meet the requirements? Okay?
Does I have a copy of that?
Yeah, would you give him a copy?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a start.
Okay, that finishes everything that I've got on the agenda. Curtis, you have something?
Yeah, I got the town oath for the rec department.
Yep.
Everyone signed off on it, but we just had one person move out of town, and now that we are aware that they can't be on the rec department, but she's
Perfect.
also an employee,
You can be an employee.
so I think we can
That's
technically.
Here,
Melissa.
give it to me, Al.
All right.
But everyone else is good to go.
Okay.
I don't
Okay, and
know.
those go to
Have you sworn
Marcy.
them in yet?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Good.
they're all
So
set and signed, and I just don't know who I was giving them to.
well, they'll go to Marcy.
Okay, we're not plugged in.
Anything else?
Can we see it?
So I discussed that whole renting the kitchen
Hmm?
with the for the community center with the recreation department, and it was unanimous that it would be most beneficial just to go away with the extra cost for the kitchen and roll it into a $30 per hour fee for renting the whole place. Because when Herb Drug was talking, why are we separating the kitchen from the rest of the building? Didn't really make sense, so we're taking that right out. That's why I want to know who actually wrote this and put this together. And it looks like Carrie Matson and John Collins made the stipulations for the cost. So if we all agree with it as the selectmen, the rec department already agreed.
Okay, I'm not seeing something there.
Right, I'm missing something too.
You're
So-
saying make it $30 an hour?
So there was talk last week
Yeah.
about the cleaning and care of it.
Right, and right now
What is
we
the current
charge
rental charge?
$25
$25 an hour, okay.
Okay, and for some reason, everyone wants to go after the revolving fund for the rec department. even though it can't be touched.
Not everybody,
And,
just Barbara.
don't be
Just
so.
Barb. Okay. But it can't be touched. So, but
For now, it can't be.
unless the warrant article gets rescinded and the townspeople all vote it in or decide they want to change it. But when Herb was talking and asked why is the kitchen and the building separate, we brought it up and says, okay, so we can just eliminate the whole kitchen factor of being in there.
Right.
But the other thing
I don't
was-
like that idea. Because most of the people who rent that place don't use the kitchen, correct?
Not necessarily. They still use the kitchen, it's just they don't turn on the stove.
Well, that's really what the cleaning is about.
Well, about the cleaning, it was also brought up that people have actually approached the rec department, and one person's approached me, said that they'll clean it for $100 to $150.
Yeah.
So that's saving on the cost, and
Right.
that's a quarterly.
Right.
So right there can be cut down.
Right.
Now I don't know who actually said
I don't
that.
want to increase the rental fee. Particularly for people who either may not use the kitchen or may not mess up the kitchen. And if they're just going in there and setting out their refreshments,
Mhm.
that's not what we're concerned about. It's the grease trap. So if they're not cooking or anything else in there, I don't think they should have to pay the extra fee. And I think we pretty much resolved this last week. We decided that for this year at least, we'll go ahead and we'll find the money in the budget, because we should have had the money in the budget, and it doesn't really matter if it's appropriated funds. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the rec department or whether it comes out of the
building.
Jimmy's
transfer
part of
station
it.
for that matter. It can
Correct.
come out of, although the library, it can come out of any section of the budget as long as we come up with it. What we should have done earlier in the year, but we didn't know about this cleaning when we set the budget, we should have had $1,200 in this case in the budget for the community center for the quarterly cleanings. Going forward into the next budget season, we have a number of options. One is to put the $1,200 in there, which is probably what we'll end up doing. Or two, separate the cleaning fee from the rental and call it a cleaning fee, in which case I don't believe it would violate the warrant article if it went to pay for the cleaning.
Or there's a couple other options too.
Like
If we
more
have
than 10
people
options, yeah.
volunteering that will come in and do it for cheaper,
All right.
since it's not a contract position,
Right.
we could always have anybody come in and do it for cheaper. So
Sure.
we could save the townspeople money if we have
Right.
people that are willing to do it for $100 to $150.
We
Yeah.
could save
Afford.
them a lot of money if all of all of the rental funds went back to the community.
But it does go
Well,
back to the community on the
if-
functions that we
If you
provide.
want to do that, Barbara,
I'm doing it,
then
yes.
put
I
together a
will do
warrant
that.
article, get 25
I
signatures.
shall do it because
Yeah.
that's the people's money.
All right. I don't think you're going to be successful with it. I think the way
But
it is set
there's-
up now is kind of reflects the public feeling.
Well, I got a couple calls this week from people that feel that what they did do when the rec center,
Community
when the
center.
community center first started, was to give them a foot up
Yeah.
by giving those funds to them to start the events they wanted to start. Now they have a healthy budget, and yet they don't want to give the money back to the community.
We are giving the money back to the community when we do these events. These
But you-
events are open to the community. We do everything for the community, and it's a good thing. And you trying to touch it, you're going to get a lot of kickback on it. I'll guarantee it.
Well, so far I
So
haven't.
bring it up. We'll see. We'll let the people
That's-
voice their
that's-
opinions.
That's why we have petition warrant articles.
So,
We'll do what the public wants to do.
I
But
want to save you money.
I'm not in favor of increasing that fee, no matter what we do.
okay. Well, the other thing was just to get rid of the whole rental of the kitchen. So that's not even brought up.
I don't think that's a good idea either.
No.
Right now the money goes right back into the rec department.
Okay.
I'm saying
And for this year, for the remainder of this year, I don't have an issue with that.
so.
And we can look at the way we're doing it and
Oh, right.
maybe change it going forward.
Yeah, in March, that
Well, I'm
might
just
be.
trying to avoid people keep trying to dip into the recreation's revolving fund. I mean, we're doing a lot of great things down there, the whole team, as a committee. We're doing a lot of great things. We got the summer camp
Yep.
going on. We're doing all sorts of things with
I
roller
know,
skating.
okay, the
So-
community agrees with that.
So
That
if you
you're
start to take
earning
their
the
money-
money, They're not trying to take your money. They're trying, what they would like to do is to be paid back
They
for
are,
the rental of the facility.
with all the events that we're putting on.
You are.
We are. We're giving the community back to the community, just like you were doing with the festivals committee. You just said that earlier today. You give the money back by appropriating or not appropriating funds, and you're doing all the festivals that you do, right? And you earn the money that way. We're doing the same exact thing by providing movie night, roller skating, dances, the breakfast.
You spend this much money, we spend this much money.
Yeah, we do a lot more than the 3 events that you do. Or 4 events, what did you do?
And we get a lot less money.
Okay.
You get thousands and thousands and thousands.
We also work a lot harder on getting our stuff.
Oh, it's getting deep in here, Curtis. I think
You can
better
take it as you want. But
Cut
when
it.
everybody comes together and we're putting in numerous volunteer hours, okay? If you add it all up on all the time that we are putting in, we are doing far much more, volunteer work than the festivals committee. There's more of us to do it, so our numbers are going to be bigger, and I understand that. That's
let's
not
not
nothing
get-
negative. It's nothing.
Okay, let's not get into a spitting contest about who's doing more.
Thank
So,
you very much, Alan. Thank you.
I think the rec committee is safe for this year.
Okay.
So, do you have anything else?
No, not this time.
Okay, Barbara.
I do. Okay, what we need to talk about are the locks on the doors.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a question. How many people on the planning board have key codes?
I have no idea. That's something you have to bring up to the chair. I know I have access to it, and
Well, you're a different situation.
Henry. Other than
Oh,
that,
Henry does? Who's the chair?
Bobby Lupa.
Okay. If you could find that out, we would appreciate it. What Dave Ellis would like to do, Alan and I talked about this earlier, we are trying to get security to be better with inside the building. And what we want to do is eliminate all the other people that have key codes other than the chair of each committee. Them and only them. And it is to be given out to no one else, no one on the committee. If they are not going to make a meeting, police department will be notified and let the people on the committee in. So that way we know exactly the people. That was the whole idea of the key codes to begin with.
Yeah, but we also discussed about getting a big quote for security cameras in here too.
All that's done.
Okay, so what was...
We're not discussing that publicly.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
that's
just have no knowledge of it, so...
it's all taken care of. So I guess if you would find out who on planning has a key code to get into the building.
Who else would have codes besides the planning board?
Zoning,
Zoning, okay,
trustees,
okay.
okay?
The
So,
budget committee, because they're meeting here now. Lisa has a code.
okay, do you have one?
No, I don't want one.
Okay. I guess maybe if you would ask Lisa if anybody else on the committee has one and get back to us, she could get back to Alissa.
If we can't
And-
get together a list of everybody with a code, the simple solution is just cancel all the codes and start over.
Right, that's what we could do.
Yeah.
And that was his suggestion, if we cannot find out who has one.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what we'll do, and we'll start over. And the police will know who has them,
Okay.
only. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay? So do you want me to move forward on this and
Yes.
talk with David? All right.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, the keypad's kind of flawed as it is anyway, because remember there's
Why?
2 numbers on it for each one button.
Yeah.
So it drops the numbers, the sequences on it anyway, so they can sit there and just push numbers. Eventually they're going to get something right.
Okay,
There's 10,000 possible codes.
right, exactly. I mean, I talked with, on the situation with John Guelcher. Is that how you pronounce
John
his
Guelcher,
name?
yeah.
Guelcher, Route 12, the house we went to, the big white house.
Oh, the septic system.
Correct. Okay. I talked with Scott at Carl Hagstrom's office because Dick DeSave said that John was working with Carl Hagstrom on this to get it corrected. Well, the complainant called me a week and a half ago again and said they had an outing at the house. There was a terrible odor. I mean, there is a problem. Scott said he told me today that he had talked to Dick and he knows that Carl had talked to Dick.
Dick from DES.
Dick DeSave, correct. And that he would get back to me. He would have Carl get back to me
Okay.
and we'll see where this stands because something definitely needs to be done, but we don't know where the process stands with Carl.
Okay.
Okay? That's it. We went over the nuisance ordinance already.
Okay.
Okay? And we're done. I'm done.
Okay. Adam, you got anything for us? Alissa? John?
As regards the zoning ordinance that this deals with, I don't know the exact.
Could you speak a little louder? I have a hearing deficiency.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to know if it would be possible to get this ordinance included into the Troy Town News somehow. Maybe a little article just saying,
There will be.
you know, that we're.
The next issue comes out in September. I don't know if we do this in September, but you heard us talking earlier about this Amnesty Day.
Yes.
That's where people can bring all their stuff in.
Right.
And we have a section of the Troy Town News called the Selectmen's Corner. And I've already written the first draft on either September 1st or October 1st. And it's going to be called Clean Up Your Yard. And it's going to encourage people to get all their stuff, get it over to Amnesty Day. Or if you have a neighbor who's got a mess, be a good neighbor and go help him load up all his stuff. And then you not only do a good deed, but you do a good deed for yourself. So that'll be in one of those issues of the Troy Town News.
Okay. Right.
Probably October 1st because we're talking about doing this Amnesty Day in October.
Right, and we could put the public hearing in there. At the
Say again,
same-
please?
The public hearing, we can put the notice for the date of the
Yes.
public hearing within the
For
same
this,
article.
we will, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And I will have a final copy here at Town Hall of the nuisance ordinance before that time, so you could come in and read it and see what's included in it and what we plan on doing.
Okay.
It's basically the same, other than the diminution of property is included in the nuisance ordinance, which is huge. And we will be able to set forth what needs to be done without going to court. So it should be much less expensive, unless we are sued, and that's always the possibility by the homeowner. But that would be down the line. They have to go through a long process and penalties are involved, and which we can set forth on our own. We do not have to have the court decide that. Have any more questions?
Just a little clarification, Barbara.
Sure.
When you're talking about the town possibly being sued, would this be by the aggrieved party or
The complainant, not the
Right.
complainant. No, the complainant is nothing more than the person
The
notifying
The
us.
complainee,
Yeah, is
if that's a word.
notifying us of the situation and they are not happy with it. They're done. At that point, they are finished. It's then up to us on how we proceed. And a letter, of course, would be first. But then we move forward with the process. The town is then responsible, not the person complaining. Okay, they're out of it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification.
Anything else for us?
Pardon?
You have anything else for us? No? Cindy, you know?
didn't know about Amnesty Day, so that's interesting.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know about Amnesty Day,
Well,
so
we're trying to put
that's
forth,
interesting.
Well,
Trying-
you gotta listen to the recordings of these meetings if you don't attend them.
oh, we're
It's all
trying to,
discussed in there.
yeah, we're trying to put forth a good faith effort
Mm-hmm.
in saying, okay, you know, we're giving you a chance. You can do this for free, but they do have to follow the regulations of the recycling center.
And that'll all be detailed out in the Troy Times
And
article.
what you
There you
guys
go.
put in the newsletter. Yeah.
Right, so, we're doing our part, so they can't come in and say, hey, this is gonna cost me $1 million, I don't have $1 million. Well, you could have done it for free. So, at least we're, yeah, I think we're trying to move forward in a good way. I really do. Let's hope it helps.
Okay. Pete, you had nothing? Wells?
Just that we had a good day on the Common Saturday.
Good.
A lot of people showed up.
The weather was perfect.
Weather was perfect, and thank you for showing up. And I think the police, or we thank the police department and the fire department.
Good. Robert?
Has anybody decided or tried to figure out where this extra money for Amnesty Day is coming from?
Well,
Not yet, and that's why we have tabled it until a later date. So we'll have a better idea of how much money is left in the budget.
and Jimmy does have money in his budget
Mm-hmm.
for it. He will not go over his bottom line.
But we also know that the welfare budget is going over. So I know what your concern is there as a member of the budget committee, and we are monitoring it. And that's why we're waiting, we're making the decision on amnesty when we're close enough to the end of the year that if we had to, we could pay a bill in January.
Right, and roughly, are you able to say how much over the welfare budget you are at this point?
We were at about 70% the last time I looked at it.
We're not over it yet.
The problem with the welfare budget, if you remember my neighbor's house,
Oh, I know.
we expected it to be up and running with that $50,000 donation that was returned. The return occurred the day before town meeting. At town meeting, you may recall that I had some proposed amendments to the operating budget. I had 6 of them. I got through 4 of them before somebody called the question. So increasing the welfare budget and reinstating the money for the Conservation Commission never got discussed. So the operating budget for welfare is $10,000 below where we expected it to be. And the claims or the requests for welfare assistance are coming in at a greater level than we anticipated.
And how many families are we paying to put up right now?
I believe it's just still the one.
I haven't paid theirs in 3 weeks.
Oh, they're gone?
No. Oh, are
They're
they?
not- I don't know if they're gone, but I haven't seen them, they haven't followed through.
Because they
so-
haven't come in, so they're probably gone. So at the moment, none.
But we still can't turn anybody away.
Right.
Oh, I understand.
If they don't
But that was
qualify, we can't.
right. But that was the concern with the welfare budget. That even though we know we can find a few thousand here and a few thousand there, we know that we're going to have to pay that. So we want to be very careful about what kind of commitments that we make that aren't already budgeted.
Right, just like MRI. I mean, that's, or, you know, whoever we might get.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. There's no further questions and no further business for this board.
Do you have anything for Adam?
I'm sorry.
Adam, did you have anything?
I did
He
ask
asked him
I went,
first.
I went this way.
I didn't.
This meeting. Okay. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:14 p.m.